Today I'm going to see about trying to make a bow drill friction by fire attempt using all natural materials. And what I have here is this is Saw Palmetto. See about getting up close and see if we can harvest some monkey fur for tinder material. Just this stuff here. This nice fine fibrous material kind of grows in between the stems or branches of the Saw Palmetto. So grab a little bit of this to use as a tinder bundle. Alright, going to see about pulling out one of these stems or Saw Palmetto frond. So let's see how this turns out. Potential bowstring right here. Okay, went and did some collecting, and that's just some basic potential materials I can work with for components of the bow drill. So probably might use this as the bow itself. I actually found a piece of oak here, which might make for a bearing block. A couple of bigger pieces that I could either use as like a hammer stick or a baton. And an anvil to use as kind of like primitive tools, I guess. What I'll use this for is to kind of break down the fibers of this Saw Palmetto branch. I'm just going to see if I can use this as an anvil. And this is a hammer. So I can kind of see it's kind of flattened out. It's been smashed. So you can start separating the fibers. Get it so it's a little more flexible. Look at that. Good stuff. The inner parts of the fiber seem to be a little weaker than the outer skin. The outer skin seems to be the more desirable part of the plant. So notice if I kind of intermix them, because the inner fibers are actually a little more moist, so they might help with grip on the spindle. I'm using it as a bowstring. Break it down into workable pieces, workable sizes, and hopefully try to keep as much length as possible. As I try to avoid having to do the typical reverse twist or braiding methods, just because it's time consuming, just more effort. It seems like a waste of time, especially if you use it as a bowstring where you know it's going to wear out and eventually break anyway. So if you can find long strands, especially if you don't have to splice shorter pieces to make longer rope, for cordage. We already got them where they're long enough to be usable as a bowstring, and you don't have to worry about splicing. And if you can just kind of just do one big twist with a group of these, tie a knot on the end of it, tie it on the end of a bow, have pretty good luck with it so far, without it taking up a whole lot of time or effort, and at least being reliable enough to at least get one good fire going. Okay, I got my fibers broken down. Pretty much most of it. I'll probably only use maybe half of this, or a third maybe, for the bowstring itself. So what I'll do is actually select the longest, probably the better looking strands, the ones that look the strongest and the most flexible, and the longest. I think I'm working with having at least adequate length. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with this. So this is probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 different reasonable strands, at least in comparison to my hand size. Yeah, I expect it'll break down a little bit, so it'll thin out as it pulls some of the stray strands away. So what I'll do, bunch them all up on the end here, and give it a pre-twist like this, and just tie a knot on the end. And it's still on the stiff side, but as you work with it, it should loosen up a little bit. There, okay. And then just it's still moist from being green, so that's kind of a good thing. So that'll add to hopefully getting decent grip on the spindle. And I'm gonna see about giving this a try for a bow. I like to have it so the knot part's down. So make sure this is firm on the spindle, just like that. The knot's going to kind of hold it to keep it from trying to untie. And then do some more twisting, just like this. And of course I'm going to fold it over and twist it some more, but this can actually be the bow. And if you've seen me use natural materials in a couple of my other videos, I usually prefer not to tie it off to the bottom end, just because it's definitely a more fragile bowstring than like paracord or any other man-made ropes and cordages. So if I can use my hand to kind of judge and have a better feel for the amount of wear and tear that's occurring on the bowstring. So I kind of prefer to have that extra sensitivity. So what I'll do is just tie this off and just twist it some more. Get it down pretty much to the end here, and then just put another knot on the other end. So now I've got a knot here, there's a little over here, so if you can kind of tell, it's a good 3 feet long or so. And of course you'll see some stray strands Any of the ones that are kind of broken in the middle, I'll try to rip off and kind of get out of the way. So now I've got kind of a hybrid Egyptian method here. So this could be the potential spindle. Wrapped around a few times, and this will help with grip. And also it helps, this is a good method to use when you're using cordage that doesn't have a strong tensile strength. So, alright, I got my knot here, so need to fashion my other parts. But I think so far so good. So we can at least see the dust characteristics, so it's darkening out. Got a good divot. Cut in my notch. So trying to just stick with the blade for today. Try that. Feels good smooth action, so that's a good thing. Okay, looks promising. Alright, awesome. I get nervous there for a second. Alright, the bowstring is holding up beautifully. That, and even the top of my spindle kind of balanced out. I guess I needed to not have it quite as pointy. Alright, I think what I might try, just trying to clear away a spot so I don't get carried away. Just try with just the monkey fur, the palm hair, see if I can just get flame that way. So, make sure I don't burn down the forest either. Nice big coal too. Alright, look at that. Awesome. Okay, pretty much All natural materials, all found on the spot from scratch, including the bowstring. Still, I could probably make another fire with this for sure. And the fireboard. And I was actually kind of concerned because I knew it was kind of moist or damp on the underside of it, but the top seemed pretty dry. But I also kind of paced myself a little bit and actually went with light pressure, which actually creates finer dust particles. So that kind of helps, I think. And here's the bearing block. So, alright. Not too bad, and I don't know, probably been about a couple hours or so from beginning to end. Yeah. And about 2 hours. Can't beat that. Alright, definitely good practice for today.